Welcome to another HRO Today educational podcast. In this series, we aim to provide you with the latest workforce management approaches and best practices in HR. I'm Debbie Bolla, the Editorial Director of HRO Today magazine. Over the last several years, contingent labor has become an important component of the workforce. In fact, Ardent Partners' latest research finds that non-employees make up 40% of an average company. So how can organizations manage a dynamic and ever-changing workforce? Some are looking to a managed services program. An MSP is a strategic solution that plays a critical role in finding the talent that is needed to achieve business goals. In fact, widespread skill shortages, increased globalization, low unemployment rates, and the rise of the gig economy are all driving organizations to leverage an MSP in order to gain visibility and insight into their workforce. Today, I have an expert here with me to offer some perspective. Lynda Sheppard is Vice President of Managed Services for Yo. For more than 75 years, Yo has provided the talent and services needed for the jobs and projects critical to business success. Whether it's finding top talent, managing a complex contingent labor program, or developing recruiting solutions, Yo has the answer. Lynda, thank you so much for being with us today.
You're welcome. It's good to talk to you. Thanks for the opportunity, Debbie.
You know, at HRO Today, we feel one of the best ways our readers and listeners can learn is from others that have gone through the process. So can you share an organization that you have worked with that has leveraged an MSP?
Absolutely. We're partnering with multiple organizations, obviously, as part of our MSP portfolio today. But one customer I wanted to specifically talk about that really demonstrates an evolution of a partnership and how a customer can really create a roadmap towards total talent management is a technology company that we partner with here in the United States. We've seen a distinct evolution of the program and been in partnership with this customer for over 6 years. It started out as kind of a traditional staffing type piece of business that then evolved into the MSP program that you mentioned in your introduction to really access visibility to the scope and insight to the types of roles and responsibilities that people have across their business. And that was predominantly with payroll workers and in partnership with a VMS technology. The program has then evolved over the course of time, and certainly happy to share more information with you on that around the private label or Contingent Workforce RPO program and recruited strategies and solutions for this customer, and obviously looking to continue on this roadmap towards a total talent management solution.
Okay, great. So let's start with a little background information. For this organization, what did their contingent workforce or their talent pools look like in the beginning?
In the beginning, it was really interesting. They had predominantly payroll workers. Their own internal recruiting teams were responsible for hiring. So their internal recruiters were hiring both temporary and direct hire workers, which obviously caused some challenges within flexible workforce and obviously in volume of resources. And so as they looked to engage with an MSP provider, they really wanted to get insight as to the payroll functions of the organization, those workers, and what value those workers were creating to the workplace, along with the turnover and the productivity issues that they were seeing from that piece of the workforce. As it evolved then, and as we became the MSP and started to be able to provide the data and analytics that allowed them to make really strategic decisions, it was at that point that we instigated the contingent RPO model, or private label as Yo calls it, to really support in some of those higher volume, higher turnover type positions to make sure that we're driving the right results for the organization. Coordination with that as well, we were able to apply recruited positions and to be able to support in more of the traditional technology roles in R&D and IDD, engineering, in production roles, and also corporate support too. So as we sit today, as the program looks today, we have a really good blend of what is a true flexible workforce, or total talent management, to use the buzzword of our industry today, in really looking at different components of how they can leverage the flexible workforce while still driving the candidates to productivity and also to direct hire opportunities within their organization too.
So how did you provide the organization with visibility across the workforce? It seems like there's lots of different levels of talent and skills that they need.
So obviously leveraging the VMS technology was fundamental, and taking a step back from that, making sure that all of the business ran through the VMS initially, right? Whenever an MSP is implemented, there's usually pockets of business or rogue spend, as we call it, that falls outside of the system. And by partnering the PMO with the HR business partners and the business managers, we really worked hard to build that relationship matrix across the organization to make sure people saw the value and the productivity of the MSP program or solution, so that they engaged in the program that then gave us access to capture all of the data and analytics to be able to advise and partner with them to ensure that moving forward they were selecting the right categories of people. And what that data and analytics showed to us, Debbie, pretty consistently was that there was some core positions that were high volume positions, so where they were spending the vast majority of their spend was seeing significant turnover at 27% of the workforce. By being able to show the metrics and establishing SLAs around that workforce and to reduce the turnover to just under 5%, which obviously is significant savings for the organization and obviously increased productivity as well.
Right, so it was really incredible that you could pinpoint that to instigate change.
We've also been able to use the data and analytics that we've been able to pull, and through the engagement of the various business units, to be able to reduce that time to fill and improve the quality of both the suppliers in the program and the results of those candidates that the suppliers are performing too.
Are there any other results that you can share?
Obviously, in partnership with all of this comes significant cost savings. We've been able to achieve over 5% in cost savings year over year on this program, and we're in our 6th year of partnership. And successfully, we've been able to extend this program by another 40% of revenue by bringing in additional scope of business as well as we continue to partner with the program. And key thing I have to call out here, this is obviously a great customer, right, who supports us, who really works in partnership with us. You know, it really is that true partnership. And I think the way we approached it was by creating a long-term strategy that really was a roadmap of milestones that we felt we needed to hit as an MSP provider to provide the white glove service that Yo provides. And they were really committed to making change and creating a true flexible workforce over the evolution of the partnership. And they've certainly delivered on their end of the bargain. They've been fantastic.
Well, you mentioned that they have a focus on long-term strategy, which makes me wonder what's next for this.
Yeah, lots more things on the roadmap. So we are literally in the throes of implementation of additional business with them, which will really bring us into the high-end engineering and finance positions with this organization, which is a significant expansion. They've gone through some internal changes themselves, and as a result, there's a significant additional piece of contingent workforce business that's rolling into program. We're looking at expanding the contingent RPO program, the private label program, to other components of the business. And then obviously next steps is ICs and SOW, right? At some point that's got to get on the roadmap too. And we have an extended 3-year contract with this customer. We hope to take it beyond what would then be 10 years of relationship with this organization. And I think it's a real demonstration of great service, but partnered with a great customer where you can really execute change across an organization and create great opportunities for both us as an MSP and for the organization that we're partnering with.
Great. So before I let you go, could you just provide a little feedback or best practices about organizations that want to take a similar journey?
I kind of narrow it down to 3 things, Debbie. The first is to partner. I think I've talked a lot about the partnership that the customer gave to us. There was real clear direction and focus on what we wanted to achieve from an MSP perspective and certainly from the business. And we didn't look at it as an overnight solution or a light switch, right, that you can just switch on it. You know, you can't jump from one scenario to another. There was real partnership and secondly, planning that went with it. So there was the engagement from the customer initially to partner with us. They had the commitment and scope of service and knowledge and expertise to know that you needed to create a plan around that. And then as in any change management model, you're always going to experience some kind of resistance or roadblocks along the way. And I think the third component that we've been able to execute consistently with this customer and again in partnership with them is really persistence. So if an organization is truly looking to create a flexible workforce and create an evolution to support that and to know what the end of the road looks like until, of course, the end of the road changes again, because we're used to that, I would strongly recommend partnership, planning, and persistency. I think those are the 3 keys to success in really creating an evolution and a partnership with an MSP program.
Great. Those 3 Ps, we'll keep those in mind. Thank you so much, Lynda, for sharing insight into how organizations can strategically manage their talent. Until next time, listeners.